Welcome, everybody, to this week's edition of Sports Shorts TV. I'm Rodney Rance alongside Joel Davis here in the LeBears studios in Baton Rouge. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Boy, what an awesome weekend it was. I was wrong, just going to admit it. I went into the weekend thinking that Alabama wasn't going to get into the top four. I really thought that their only chance of getting into the top four in the playoffs was if they had two losses. I figured Ohio State would beat Wisconsin, but we've seen the trend over the years that the team that wins that championship game, Ohio State's had bigger victories than Alabama has. That I thought it was going to take two losses. I thought somebody else was going to have to lose, upset Oklahoma, or I thought if Georgia won, that Auburn, that Alabama really wouldn't be in. But I give Nick Saban credit. That guy worked the channels. He worked the national media. He was on all the shows through all the week. He was on game day with his nice new red jacket. He was on Van Pelt's show. I mean, he went full bore media, and the Godfather spoke, and everybody listened. And somehow Alabama, with the 50-something ranked schedule in the country, and didn't look good against Mississippi State, Alabama against LSU or Auburn, here they are playing for a national championship, even though they didn't even win their conference in division. Oh, by the way, Alabama a 2-1 favorite in Vegas to win it all.
And I think that's the ticket right there, is that they feel like that they can win, that they've been there before, that this is the team, this is Nick Saban. They're going to make it interesting. It's about viewership. It's about money. Would you rather see Ohio State or would you rather see Alabama? Personally, I'd rather see Alabama. JT Barrett does not impress me. Hurts impresses me. That entire roster impresses me every time they play. You're right. Nick Saban went out and he campaigned for his football team and he won. I would have liked to have seen college football go with what we thought that they would go with, even though I think Alabama's the better team and I think that they got it right. I think Ohio State deserves to be there. I think Ohio State did. They beat an undefeated team in a championship setting, and they should be in, regardless of what their season was. Because, if Alabama, it's like, when do you lose? Do you lose at the end of the year, the beginning of the year? It's all that it means something.
It's the magic of when you lose.
Yeah, and Alabama lost at the end, but it was at the end. It was, you know what I mean? It was a week or two. They lost to Auburn, but there was still another game to play, even though they didn't play.
If Alabama had lost in the championship
game, it would have
been worse than if they lost prior to the championship.
The week before.
Right.
So, if they lose to Georgia in the championship game, they're not in. If they could have beaten Auburn, been in that championship game, and lost to Georgia, and they're not going to be in.
I don't know.
Ronnie, no, because it's too fresh. Nick Saban can't campaign that.
I know, but
he's not on all those shows on Saturday.
This is the thing that I heard. Okay, so obviously, Clemson is in, and in my opinion, they are the best team in college football this year.
They're good. Guess who their running back is?
You'll tell us all about it, Mr. Etienne. By the way, did you hear? I don't know if you saw this, but last night on one of the ESPN shows, they were talking about the bowls in the playoffs and everything. They asked who's going to be the what freshman or what player is going to be the breakout player in the playoffs, and one of them said Etienne.
Well, I mean, look, I can't tell you how many times I sat in Coach Phelps' office, just like we are right now, for 2 years. His junior
at Jennings High, right?
At Jennings High School, sat in just talking to Phelps. We just sit there and we'll just talk about players, talk about the area, talk about the Acadiana football, and just in that area. And I mean, every time we go in there, we would talk about Etienne, and he would talk about how he wants to go to LSU. He liked Tennessee at the time. He was a big fan of Tennessee. Obviously, that
changed.
Would have been bad.
Yeah.
But he loved LSU. But LSU never even thought about him, never reached out to him during Les Miles' era. It just wasn't. He was never thought of as a player to LSU. He wanted to go to LSU. So he was settling on Tennessee, and then all of a sudden at the last second, Orgeron starts coming around and starts talking to him. But by this time, Dabo had already reached out to him.
And then once they won the national championship, he flew in there, a day or two later.
And as soon as Etienne went to Clemson to see it. He came back. It was done. It was not. It was over with because, and even though LSU kept pushing for him, and they lost that other kid out of Mississippi, but Clemson reminded him so much of being at home in Jennings that it was a done deal. LSU had no shot after that because he felt like a second fiddle to LSU. Even though LSU at that point, he was their number one guy.
It was too late.
It was too late in Etienne's mind.
Well, we got Clemson and Oklahoma.
Boy, they could use him right now.
Yeah, boy.
Next year?
Yeah.
How much could they use that kid
Yeah,
next year?
Huge, huge. Clemson, Oklahoma.
Am I yelling, by the way?
You are. I mean, Oklahoma is really starting to impress. Their defense, I'm still not 100% sold. Just any defense
Who?
coming out of the Big 12. Talking about Oklahoma's defense.
Who cares?
But their
They have
offense.
Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, their offense is pretty special. Clemson's Clemson's the all-around better team in the sense that their defense, their special teams, their offense is all one. Oklahoma, you got questions on their defense; they just outscore people. Then you've got a Georgia team, which, hey, if you throw out the Auburn game a few weeks ago when they just got handled down on the plains, if you just they've been fantastic the rest of the season. We gave them a lot of credit early on, winning with a backup quarterback at Notre Dame when Notre Dame was somebody. They obviously pummeled Auburn in the Dome over the weekend. I mean, I thought the game would be much closer, but I thought Auburn would still win. No, Georgia just handled them. So you throw out that one mulligan against obviously a top 10 team on their own field. They avenged that loss and then some. I'm impressed with Georgia, and Georgia's got the makeup to contend with Oklahoma, and the fact that they can run the football, eat up some clock, keep it out of Baker Mayfield's hands a little bit. So that should be a very interesting matchup. Oklahoma's going to be a big favorite there, but on a neutral site, very neutral site. You've got Oklahoma and Georgia going out to Pasadena to the Rose Bowl, but Alabama, here we are once again.
Stop right. I want to ask you something. Think about this for a second. Jacob Eason, huge 5-star recruit. The guy was a starting quarterback for Georgia Bulldogs before he got hurt. I mean, he was a stud. This is the guy's the future at Georgia. Gets injured, and Jake Fromm, the freshman quarterback, is about to go potentially win a national championship for this football team. How do you hand the ball back over to Jacob Eason? So if you're Jacob Eason, wouldn't you be thinking, I need to go play somewhere else? I mean, why would you take the ball from a guy that's potentially who has taken you to a potential championship?
Right.
You don't take the ball. He's your future for the next 3 years. So, but Jacob's sitting there going, well, what about me?
Right.
Do you grant him a release if he wants to transfer? Do you grant him that release? I mean, if I'm Jacob, I'm a starter in the SEC, but I understand. I get it. You got this guy right.
You're not going to mess with a good thing.
You're not going to mess with it. He's younger. Yeah. He's done a great job. You don't lose your job over an injury unless you're, I don't know, Drew Bledsoe.
Right.
Or Jacob Eason.
Right.
And I think, man, if this could happen, let's think about this. If they could get his release.
They're not going to release him to another SEC.
No, they should. Why not? It's not his fault.
They're not going to, though.
Why not?
I know where you're going with this. You want him to be in the Tiger Stripes.
I think that's
next
wrong.
year.
I think that's wrong. It's the same thing with Shea Patterson.
Yeah, no,
Shea
you and I,
they
you
should
and I
be able
think
to
it's
release
wrong.
them.
Yeah, there's no question.
Let the kid go play football next year. He's not in the same division as Georgia. Let him go to the West.
I know, but that's not what's going to happen.
LSU could use that kid
no
next
question.
year. Wow.
But let's talk a minute about this Alabama-Clemson Part 3 matchup. Alabama, amazingly, and I understand. Listen, when you talk about betting lines, it's not about who somebody thinks is really going to win the game. It's about where the action can get 50-50 on both sides of the number. Alabama opened up as a 1-point favorite, even though I think Clemson's going to win the game, and I think Clemson's a better team. That's my personal belief. Now, but it's a coin flip. I mean, this game's going to be a typical Alabama-Clemson game. I just think Clemson can outscore Alabama. I'm not sold on Alabama's defense. I know about the injuries at linebacker, but even when they come back, I just think Clemson can move the football on Alabama, and I don't know that Alabama can move the football enough on Clemson.
They can.
They can, and they probably will. I mean, you're talking about you're going to get Nick Saban's best shot. You got a whole month to prepare. Alabama's got a whole month to get healthy.
I hate that about college football.
I know, and they get one extra week to get healthy. I mean, they didn't have to play that 13th game, which is going to help them physically. But that said, this is going to be a battle in the Sugar Bowl, sold out stadium. Both teams travel well. It's in the South.
You gonna be in that game? You
I'll
gonna be in that
go
number?
to it. Yeah, I'll
You
go
gonna be in
to
that
it.
number? You got tickets to that, or is that the casino gonna?
Be a press pass, a little press pass.
Oh, you gonna make that phone call? Mm-hmm. I could probably make that phone
You
call.
probably could. Do you know the number?
Yeah, I do know the number actually.
Okay.
Whose answers over there these days?
But I would say that in my opinion, I can't.
Wait a minute.
I
You're
like.
not gonna get me a press pass as a Sports Shorts team? I mean, I got friends that are gonna be there coming in from
Can we
Tuscaloosa.
talk about this another
Well, I
time?
mean, I'm
we
just
got a
asking.
whole month. I mean, if you're a grown man, get your own press pass. You know. But what?
Did I deliver you a piece of furniture the other day out of the kindness of my own heart? Didn't have to do that. Could have said, you're a grown man with a truck. Come pick up your furniture. But I didn't. I came to your house late at night after the radio show and helped you bring it inside. And you just did that to me. Okay. Just reminded
World's
people.
smallest violin
Unbelievable.
playing a sad song
Guy has
for
a
you.
truck. Guy has a truck. A truck. And I had to deliver. Okay.
So, anyway, we good? Can we move on?
Yeah, where's
No.
is your lotion in your top pocket there? Your little hand lotion? Okay, go ahead.
So, unbelievable. I apologize to the 3 people out there watching. Alabama.
They watch every week.
Yeah, and
they know what's
they're
going to
just
happen.
amazed. They're like, I can't believe
There
these
he is.
two.
There it happens
And
again.
there he is with his red zone shirt again.
This is a different one. I haven't worn this one in months.
Okay.
Found it in the
Alabama, Clemson. What do you think's going to happen?
I think Alabama's going to win.
You think Alabama's going
Yeah, I
to take
do.
care of Clemson?
I think they're so excited about the opportunity. Like they weren't even supposed to be there, right?
And Clemson's got to be like, oh my God, we got to play them again.
Exactly. It's kind of
Right.
like the LSU Alabama thing when the 9-6 deal. Okay. Clemson's got to be like, this is unbelievable.
Right.
This is
we thought we
baloney.
were going to get Ohio State.
Right. We're going to crush Ty Barrett, whatever his name is, who's been quarterbacking over there for 8 years, who's not even really a quarterback, who, by the way, was terrible in that championship game. God, he was awful.
Well, he's also a little banged up.
Still, I mean, is his arm broken? Okay. So, at the end of the day, I think Alabama is looking at this as like, it's like when LSU was 10-2 and got in. Mm-hmm. So that to me is a huge weapon that they're going to use over the next month to prepare for this. You're not even supposed to be here, and you're here. Let's take advantage of this opportunity.
The one thing I will say is, I some years you look at the games and you're not, like last year, Alabama-Washington. I mean, granted, Washington deserved to be in, but you didn't give any Washington any chance
Right.
of that game. I think all 4 teams have a shot to win.
Every one of them.
I mean, I'm looking forward just as much to the Georgia-Oklahoma game as I am to the Clemson-Alabama game.
That game a lot. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to that one more than I am.
Yeah, because I'm a little
Alabama.
tired of the Alabama-Clemson deal, right? Although, hey, it's best 2 out of 3. It's kind of like Cleveland and Golden State in basketball the last few years. But all 4 of these teams have a chance to win a national championship. And no matter how it comes out, Oklahoma playing Alabama, Clemson playing Georgia, whatever the scenario is,
a winner.
that's going to be another great game with a toss-up kind of coin flip type of game there. Can you imagine, though, Clemson versus Georgia for the national championship? When you've got, I mean, that ticket will be the most expensive playoff ticket ever because the game's going to be in Atlanta, and you got 2 schools that are within a couple hours of Atlanta.
And I would assume that that committee, because there's always a committee, would love for that to happen.
Well, sure.
I mean, with all that around, just the masses amounts of people that are going to say they're either a Georgia fan or a Clemson fan are going to be coming to that. It's going to be a week of party in Atlanta. So, but Oklahoma.
What won't
Baker
surprise
Mayfield.
me if they win the national
That
championship.
guy
Won't
is
surprise me if
so.
any of them.
Baker
Probably
Mayfield
Georgia the
is
least.
so good.
The
He's
most.
so good, dude. And I hope Taysom Hill is as good as Baker Mayfield, and we'll talk about that.
By the way, we'll talk about Taysom Hill. I didn't even know the guy was until yesterday, but he was
Really?
his whole story and everything. I didn't really know all about. But we'll talk about the 3rd string / special teams guru
Ace.
for the New Orleans Saints.
Special teams
We'll talk about
ace.
that. And oh, by the way, congratulations to Gus Malzahn.
Yeah, getting a contract.
You talk about a guy. Look, let's go back a year and a half
Hot seat.
ago. If he loses to LSU on the Les Miles 1 second play,
He's going back to high school.
He might be fired that week.
Yeah.
Les Miles got fired after the Auburn game. Gus Malzahn was right there. If Les wins that game, if they got 1 more second on that clock, then Malzahn's probably gone. He goes from almost being fired 14 months ago to now he just got a $7 million a year contract. $7 million a year Malzahn's going to make. Jimbo Fisher, by the way, we'll talk about that. The SEC West. Coach Orgeron's a deal at $3.5 million. We'll take a break. We'll be back with Sports Shorts right after this.
When my wife and I started Relief Windows, what we were trying to do, what our goal was to give a quality job to a homeowner. Everybody's scared of contractors. We wanted to change the mold of what that is. Not showing up on time, not answering the phone, somebody running with your money. The reason why you should pick Relief Windows to do your renovation of your home, windows, doors, HardiePlank, or siding, is because of the experience, quality service of our company. Service is everything we have. It's the foundation of our company. We're going to show up on time. We're going to do the job right. Over 60% of our customers is customer referral. We're a local company here in Baton Rouge, built in Baton Rouge, staying in Baton Rouge. Okay. The job's not done until you're happy and we're happy. It's built the old-fashioned way, with a handshake. Here at Relief Windows, it's honored to be official window, door, and siding company of LSU Athletics, from one winning team to another.
Appliance Distributors of Louisiana are appliance experts who have been in business for over 35 years. ADL provides worry-free, full-service solutions for the whole home. ADL works with designers, builders, or individual homeowners like me when I was remodeling my home after the Great Flood in August 2016. ADL offers special homeowner discounts, just like the ones the builders get. Go to ADLappliances.com and see all the major name brands, or stop by their store, Nicholson Drive in Baton Rouge. ADL services the entire state of Louisiana, so call, log on, or stop by today. Appliance Distributors of Louisiana. If you're an avid sports fan, then you need to check out the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, located in historic downtown Natchitoches, next to the Chateau St. Denis Hotel and the Natchitoches Convention Center. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is where the rich history of Louisiana sports is told through the pictures, artifacts, and by the legends themselves in video archives. Come to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame and Northwest Louisiana History Museum and visit a world-renowned architectural marvel. For more information and to purchase tickets to the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame events, visit lasportshall.com/purchase.
Welcome back, everybody. Ronnie Ranch, Joel Davis here in LeBaire Studios in Baton Rouge. Don't forget, with this holidays coming up at LeBaire's, you know, you got a lot of friends and family in town visiting you. At some point, you're going to get sick and tired of their company. I mean, you know, there's only so much turkey you can eat. There's only so much, you know, visiting with Aunt Stacy. You need a little reprieve. LeBaire's is open 24 hours a day, 365, 7 days a week, you name it. Go by, have a good time. Gamble some of that Christmas money and parlay it. You know, who knows?
Put it all on black.
Maybe you can get a new Dodge Ram truck out of it.
With a big logo.
The college football world turned on its head in the last week since we did our show. Mm-hmm. Joe Alleva, King Alexander. It was possible to get Jimbo Fisher to be your head coach in the SEC West. You just had to be willing to spend about $95 million to get him, which that's what Texas A&M showed us. They gave him a a $75 million
Guaranteed.
$75 million, 10 years, $75 million?
Guaranteed.
Contract, guaranteed. They paid $5 million to buy him out at Florida State,
That's not that much.
and then they paid $10 million for Sumlin to go away. But the Sumlin money is not like the normal
That's raised money.
buyout. Well, hang on, that's all in essence raised. But here's the deal: like with Les Miles, when LSU gave him $10 million or whatever to go away, and then they don't give him 10 up front. It's like, you know, 2 a year for 5 years or whatever.
I'm okay with that.
Okay. If he gets a job, if next year when they give Les Miles $2 million, if he gets a job coaching, making $1.5 million at XYZ school, then LSU only owes him $500,000
Right.
for the year. See, the Kevin Sumlin gig was $10 million within 60 days, and he gets to keep it no matter what happens to him. Now that is a great contract.
Great contract.
They're going to give him a $10 million check within the next 60 days, and he can go be the head coach at next year someplace
he's
making another 2
he
or
needs
3.
to sit out this year and not take a job and wait to see what opens up next year. Get it, because they're going to want to hire somebody within 60 days, like for next year. Because recruiting is huge right now through January and February.
I don't think you should sit out. I mean, if you sit out, that doesn't benefit
Does he get the
you.
money if he signs somewhere before?
That's what I'm saying. It's
within
it's
60 days?
It's $10 million no matter what. It's a lump payout, and they can't touch it. It has nothing to do
Whether
with
he
future
works or
earnings.
not.
Yes.
Well, I'd take the year off anyway. Just reevaluate. Dude, sometimes you just need to
Yeah, but it's-
recharge the batteries,
No,
bro.
but I mean, like, it's one of those situations where out of sight, out of mind. I mean, if he goes and does ESPN announcing for a year, you know, he loses a little bit. He's going to take that Arizona State job if offered,
Did you
or
see
whatever
who
the case
got the
may
Arizona State job?
be. Who got it? I was looking to see. Who got it?
The Jets' former coach. Come on, help me out. Herm Edwards.
Oh, Herm did get that gig. That's
But
right.
so you just said out of sight, out of mind. Well,
No,
that's not true.
That's somebody who made up their mind that they wanted an African American coach. I
Okay.
mean, that's just straight what that is. I mean,
Well, let
Herm
me-
Edwards has been out for how many years?
Well, let me just tell you this. Did you see his press conference?
I did not.
He has brain damage. He has complete brain damage because he didn't even know. He didn't process the fact that he's a Sun Devil. He didn't process this. Because let me explain to you what happened. It's on the internet. You're more than welcome to go out and look. Herm Edwards' press conference, one of the reporters asked him, he said, go to the next question, and the reporter said, hey, Billy from Devil's Advocate, the Devil's Advocate here, the Devil's Advocate, or whatever.
And Herm's a big Christian.
And Herm goes, whoa, where are you from, boy? And he goes, well, right here in Tucson, sir. And he goes, well, devils, well, I'm a big Christian now. You got to watch out for them devils around here.
And say, hey, Herm, we're the
Herm,
Sun Devils.
you're a sun devil.
Right.
Like he literally didn't
Right.
process the fact that the
Right.
devil, you're a sun devil.
Right.
It was weird, man.
Yeah,
It was,
go Devils. I mean, he's going to be saying that a lot, right? You know, I mean, like,
well, I'm a big Christian now. Hey, you got to watch out for them devils. Them devils will get you. It was the strangest thing I've ever seen. Just
Yeah.
Google it. It's where I can't do it any justice. It's almost it makes you cringe to think that he might have some
not
brain
really. Wait,
damage.
he might have thought he was the coach of the Wildcats. That's
Right.
Arizona.
He went to
Not
Arizona. Yeah, he
State.
doesn't know that he's an Arizona Sun Devil. How do you go through that interview process and not realize that you're a Sun Devil?
I mean, the fact that they hired him, that's, you know, it's crazy. Frost takes the Nebraska job. Scott
Good for
Frost.
them.
And look, Central Florida knew their place, right?
Mm-hmm.
They won their conference championship. Fantastic game between Memphis and Central Florida. And they tweeted out, congratulations, best of luck, Nebraska, you know, the whole 9 yards. They weren't bitter at all. They understand that, hey, look, he's going home. He's going to make more money. It's a big Power 5 conference. Like, it's a no-brainer. So Nebraska got theirs. Although, you know, if Frost wasn't an alumnus of Nebraska, he'd have never gone there. He'd have taken the Florida job, which he passed on. Interesting that in the last 7 days or so, you never thought that Mississippi State's head coach would take the Florida job.
Yeah, I didn't think he would because of the wife. And you said, well, money talks. And
Yeah.
sure enough, when that image came out with him, the wife, and the kids, and that private jetliner, Yeah, that really did sell. I mean, look, they do have history there. I just really thought that the wife would have. And you're right, money. If you got enough money, you don't have to go grocery shopping. I guess you can use the Waiter app and have everything delivered every night. So I'll tell you what, the Jimbo Fisher to Texas A&M's big, Ronnie.
Well,
I'm going to tell you this: if Ed Ogeron has a tough year, this upcoming year, they're going to make a move. They can't afford to go a couple years.
Whoa. If Ed Ogeron has a tough year in year 2, what's a tough year in your mind? What's a tough year?
If he goes 6-5.
Well, they play 12. So 6-6.
Well, there's going to be a hurricane, Ronnie. I mean, come on. There'll be one game we don't play. It always happens.
Right.
So if they go 6-5 because of the hurricane, and that hurricane will be a game that you don't really want to play it anyway. You don't make it. We're paying somebody to come in. It's just a little something. So if he goes 7-5. 7-5.
7-5.
With the situation at quarterback.
By the way, LSU
which
plays,
is possible.
LSU plays Miami next year, the first game of the year.
They're going to win that game.
Okay. So, but if in your scenario where they go 7-5, we've got to give them the loss. I mean, they got to lose that game to go 7-5. So,
right.
So LSU loses that game.
Miami did not look like
this is worst case scenario for Joel. LSU loses that game. That means they go 3-1 non-conference, bam. And then on the side, they've got 8 games left. And in those games, they go 4-4.
Whatever it takes, bro. I'm telling you that it could be it's not going to fall in place like it did this year. You had a senior quarterback this year, right? Wasn't very good, but he was
Don't
a
you have
pitcher.
Georgia next year?
You got a tough schedule next year.
Do you? Do you know if they play Georgia
I'll tell you
or
who
not?
you do have. You have a Dan Mullen, Florida, who's going to be better. You're going to have Mississippi State that's going to be a challenge. As an Ole Miss, that who knows what's going to happen
I feel a lot
there.
better about playing Mississippi State without Dan Mullen.
Well, true, but you're also going to have an inexperienced quarterback. You're going to have an inexperienced running back. I mean, what are you going to do? You got a couple of receivers. I mean, you're going to have a good defense, but I mean, anything could happen next year, man. I mean,
By the way, you're talking about, and Joel Davis just said this on this show, that you think if LSU goes 7-5 next year, that they're going to make a change and they're going to get rid of Ogeron because they feel the pressure with Jimbo Fisher at Texas A&M.
No, I think they're going to feel the pressure from their fan base. I think that the fan base is going to raise.
Here's why
hell.
that's not going to happen.
Okay, go
because
ahead.
LSU's going to beat the tar out of Notre Dame, and they're going to go 10-3 this year.
Sure.
And he's going to get an extension and a raise. Okay, especially because everybody else around him is making twice as much as he is, so he's going to get a raise.
Yeah, but he's got the most expensive assistant coaches in the country.
That's
that
about
kinda levels that out.
about to go down, I think, when Canada leaves. But anyway,
Well, that's no guarantee.
so he's trying. He's trying to
he's
go.
trying, but he's got to get a job. He better go to Lafayette.
We'll talk about that. So if he's going to get a 9-3, 10-3, Coach O's going to get an extension and a raise.
And then they're going to hire Hugh Freeze. And then Hugh Freeze, when they fire Ed Ogeron's going to get the head job? Is that what you're trying to say?
Next year, if LSU, the bottom would have fall out and LSU goes 7-5, they are not going to get rid of Ogeron. Here's why. Largely due to the fact that they're going to have a bigger buyout. But the bottom line is that there's no Jimbo Fisher to go get. You know, the whole thing with getting rid of Les Miles was to go get Jimbo Fisher.
The guy that went 5-6 this year?
There's no Jimbo to go get. So who's the next guy? Who's the next guy that's sitting out there?
There's a guy every
to go
year.
get? Yeah, but my point
What if
is
Scott
that,
Frost goes 12-0 at Nebraska?
could you not yell so
Well, you
much?
just were yelling.
I mean,
you were yelling on the one
absurd.
shot.
I mean, it's unbelievable. But there's not a guy for LSU to fire him over a 7-5 season. I mean, a 7-5 season could happen, but they're not going to fire Coach O in year 2 with a red shirt for a sophomore quarterback and a new running back and a bunch of new receivers and all of those things that you just mentioned. They got the built-in excuses for next year to be underwhelming. And I think LSU next year probably is going to go, 8-4 or 9-3. I mean, but the thing is that, we didn't know the SEC was going to be as bad as it was this year.
That's my point.
We didn't know. And next year, it could be just as bad.
It won't be, Ron. And I didn't know I was doing a show with Jesus, and he knew it all.
By the way, Georgia is on the schedule next year for
Georgia?
LSU at home.
Georgia.
Yeah. So LSU's
At Georgia or here?
No, here. But LSU's home schedule next year is the Southeastern Lions, place where you spent a good 10 years of your life.
8.
Louisiana Tech here, which, hey, Louisiana Tech, you can't sleep on them. I mean, they
That's their Super Bowl.
that's their Super Bowl. But the Tigers have Ole Miss at home next year, Georgia at home, Mississippi
Okay, wait.
State,
Let's
and
go
Alabama.
back. Let's do a win-loss here. Okay, first game of the season.
Miami on the road.
On the road.
Dallas.
In Dallas. 1-0. They're going to beat Miami. Go
Okay.
ahead.
Southeastern at home, 2-0.
2-0.
At Auburn, loss.
2-1.
2-1. At home against Louisiana Tech, and then Ole Miss the following week.
3-1.
4-1. You got Ole Miss at home.
4-1.
And then you're at Florida, 4-2.
4-2.
You got Georgia at home.
4-3.
You got Mississippi State at home.
5-3.
Alabama at home.
5-4.
Arkansas on the road.
Toss up. 5-5.
Well, that's not a toss-up. You gave them an L. They're
5-5.
at Arkansas with a new
5-5.
coach.
What's next?
You got Rice at home and Texas A&M on the road.
6-5 and Jimbo. Bam, 6-6. Ed Ozer on. He's going to the house. He's going on vacation early.
You got
so
it
if they
figured
finish
out, huh?
6-6, Ronnie, this fan base is going to blow up Tiger State.
By the way, you got, according to.
And what I just said is totally realistic.
By the way,
it's realistic.
By the way, this is according to Joel Davis that the Tigers would go 6-6, and that's giving them 4 wins out of conference. That means you got LSU going 2-6 in the SEC.
Quite
That's
possible.
ridiculous. LSU's not going to go 2-6
Against
in the
that
SEC.
schedule?
They're not. They're not going to go 2-6.
What did I say that's impossible?
That they're going to go 2-6 in
What
the SEC.
game did I say? Out of those 6 losses, did you not agree with? Georgia? They're in the national championship. We're not even close. Alabama? They're in the national championship race. We're not even close. Auburn was almost in the national championship race. We're not even close. Who else?
Those are the only
Florida.
three. Florida
New
was
coach.
garbage
New
this
coach.
year. It doesn't
Dan
matter.
Mullen gives.
Florida
we
was
lost to
garbage
Dan
this
Mullen.
year.
That's 4. Four possible losses.
Florida's offense is going to take a couple years to get figured out.
We'll see. No, he was going to get a transfer from some JUCO, probably get Lindsey Scott to come in and light LSU up.
By the way,
That's probably what's
congratulations to Lindsey Scott.
Congratulations.
He won the junior college national championship at East Mississippi Community College.
It's not a fluke,
And
man.
I don't know. He's not verbally committed anywhere yet, huh? I was looking for that online to see
Sure,
if he
Dan
was
Mullen's gonna be making a
verbally
phone call.
committed to some place. By the way, Lindsey Scott, Zachary High. Zachary's in the state championship again
They got another
this
stud
year.
quarterback.
Lindsey Scott Jr., who originally was a Syracuse commitment, came to LSU for a year, redshirted, and transferred. You'll be able to watch him on Netflix next year on Last Chance U. It's the final season. They've done Hardball. Last Chance U. The last 3 years they filmed in Scuba, Mississippi. They're going to go next year to Kansas, but it'll come out. Usually it comes out about May. So May of 2018 or ish. You look for the season of Last Chance U. It'll be featured with a lot of Lindsey Scott, which will be interesting to follow him. And of course, they went on to win a national championship. Zachary High, the Broncos are in it here in the Baton Rouge area. Of course, University High is going to compete for a state championship. Catholic of Baton Rouge has no chance against John Curtis. But hey, fantastic job. Catholic got to the state championship by way of scoring 2 touchdowns without an offensive score. Amazing. And West Feliciana, the Saints, headed to the Dome. So,
and I'm still somewhat in shock for Acadiana. To go down to Hahnville the way they did. Acadiana had the lead
Hahnville,
late.
the best running back in the state.
Puka Williams.
Puka Shells.
Great player, by the way. LSU's looking to try to get him.
I hear he doesn't have the grades, and he was verbally committed to Kansas, but he doesn't have the grades.
Well, and I also heard he's not the greatest kid on the planet, but we're trying for that.
But he's a great running back.
Great running back.
Yeah.
Great running. But sometimes it's nice to have good kids, and I'm just heard that's. I don't know.
I just want you to get across the goal line.
Just get across the goal.
Yeah,
okay. You don't want nice kids on the. You don't care about all that.
I
right.
think that's a little overblown. Like, you're going to show up for practice, you're going to go to class. I don't know. You can have the grill. Look at our boy with
Alvin Kamara.
Kamara.
Yeah, but he's a good kid.
Is he?
Yes,
I
he's
mean,
been.
I don't know anything about him other than he's a great
I've ever
football
read about
player.
him, this is a good kid. He's a good kid just because he's got the stuff. Look, you can't look at that. You have to look past that. That's his thing. But I've heard nothing but great things about him.
Well, he's
even
an
going through
unbelievable running back.
Unbelievable. We'll talk about that. But Puka Williams, Acadiana had the lead late. They lost it on a 2-point conversion that they had bottled up. They had it bottled up, and he turned reverse direction and got in and beat Acadiana, and my wrecking Rams are out.
We'll take a timeout. We come back on the other side. We're going to talk about what's the special teams guru for the Saints?
That's Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill. If you watched the Saints game yesterday on TV, my God, I've never heard him talk about a special teams guy who almost blocked a punt and a third-string quarterback who never got in.
Right.
But Taysom Hill, we'll tell you about him. We'll talk about the Saints, the Who Dats are the real deal. Do they have a chance of winning on Thursday?
They're frauds.
We'll be back right after this.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the Grand Slam hitter to grandparents. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Relief Window. Experience Relief Window.
When my wife and I started Relief Windows, what we were trying to do, what our goal was to give a quality job to a homeowner. Everybody's scared of contractors. We wanted to change the mold of what that is. Not showing up on time, not answering the phone, somebody running with your money. The reason why you should pick Relief Windows to do your renovation of your home, windows, doors, Hardy Plank, or siding, is because of the experience, quality service of our company. Service is everything we have. It's the foundation of our company. We're going to show up on time. We're going to do the job right. Over 60% of our customers is customer referral. We're a local company here in Baton Rouge, built in Baton Rouge, staying in Baton Rouge. Okay. The job's not done until you're happy and we're happy. It's built the old-fashioned way, with a handshake. Here at Relief Windows is honored to be official window, door, and siding company of LSU Athletics, from one winning team to another.
Relief Windows.
BR Mattress Company is the only name you need to know when looking to buy a mattress anywhere in Louisiana. BR Mattress Company is located in the Live Oak Shopping Center on Florida Boulevard between North Foster and Acadian. BR Mattress Company offers all the top name brands at 50 to 75% off retail prices. That's a $5,000 mattress for only $1,500. BR Mattress Company is open 7 days a week, and owner Mitch Kimball and his staff will provide you with laser-like service and a PhD in mattress education. If you want the best night's sleep of your life, go see the experts, Baton Rouge Mattress Company.
At Peak Performance Physical Therapy, we treat the athlete in everyone, from the three-point shooter to the three-piece suit. If your doctor prescribes physical therapy, ask for Peak Performance by name, getting you back in the game of life.
Packers.
Welcome back, everybody. Ronnie Ranch, Joel Davis here in LeBaire Studios in Baton Rouge. Look, we've got the holidays, Christmas, and everything coming up right around the corner. And if you're like me, you probably, you hadn't done a lot of your Christmas shopping. And most guys out there are kind of last minute and all that kind of stuff on your Christmas shopping. You've bought your wife jewelry, you've gotten her vacations, you got her new car, whatever you've done over the years. You're always trying to rack your brain to figure out something to get yourself out of the doghouse, give her a good Christmas gift. Well, at RuffinoCustomClosets.com, you can be a hero. Go to Ruffino, Ruffino, just like the restaurant, RuffinoCustomClosets.com, and all of a sudden you take that regular old, master closet. It's just packed with stuff. Everything's falling over the shelves. You can barely, open up the dress area and all that to hang clothes. You got all those wired hangers everywhere. Go to RufinoCustomClosets.com and you will be a rock star with your wife. You'll start 2018 off in good graces, and you can make any closet just like something off of a movie. And you can maximize space. It's not that expensive. And you know what? Rufino Custom Closets, I did them in my house. They're great to work with. They make all of their own materials in-house. The New Orleans Saints took a huge step towards winning the division this past weekend. They dominated the Carolina Panthers. It was one of their better games of the year. And it was a big game because not only did they win, and it was important, but to answer the loss. You know, they'd had the 8-game win streak. They lost it in Los Angeles, came right back, bounced back at home, looked fantastic. And now they can really put their stake in the ground if they can bounce back quickly. 4 days later, beat Atlanta, a team that just lost at home to Minnesota and didn't look good offensively. If they can put their stake in the ground this Thursday in Atlanta, it's over. I mean, they've won the division.
You know, after watching the Rams play Arizona on the road and they just manhandled the Arizona Cardinals on the road, and that's a big win for the Rams. To see the Saints play them as, you know, they didn't have a chance to win that game. They had to have an onside kick, and I don't really count that as you have to get lucky at the end there. But the Rams, they were physical with the Rams. The Rams were physical with the Saints. I think that's a better matchup down the road. Just kind of things didn't go their way in that game. So I feel better about that loss than I did after the game, after knowing what they did to the Arizona Cardinals this week. And then what they did this week at home versus a very physical Carolina Panthers defense. You know, the Panthers' offense is limited right now.
Yeah, it has its
Without
good days
Olsen,
and its bad days.
They traded away Benjamin. Olsen didn't play, and if they have to play again, Olsen will be back next time. That's what I'm scared about. If you end up getting the 4th seed as a division winner, you're going to play, you know, the worst wild card team or the best wild card team, and that best wild card team could be Carolina or Seattle. Those are both tough games in the NFC. In that wild card round. So they manhandled Carolina's defense. They beat them up. They physically beat them. They outsmarted them. And at times, they were just better. They didn't even have to outsmart them. Alvin Kamara was the best football player on the field. You know what's a shame is the Carolina Panthers drafted Christian McCaffrey in the first round, top 10.
Right.
And he's really good. He's really good. But he's being overshadowed by the 3rd rounder, who could be the best running back in the NFL right now,
Yeah,
Ronnie.
interesting story about Kamara. You know, they talked about it on the broadcast yesterday, and then how Sean Payton and the Saints evaluated him, thought he was a 2nd-round pick.
Yep.
They loved him, and of course, you know, they decided to go with the safety with
Marcus Williams, which is a good pick.
With the, you know, out of need, and then Kamara was there early in the 3rd round. They traded up, of course, to take him, but. You know, and look, I understand how that works. I mean, it's hard to pass up on a guy like McCaffrey with his body of work. I mean, we've seen him for 2-3 years at Stanford be phenomenal in every kind of big game and every kind of scenario. And you didn't have that body of work with Kamara, who transferred from Alabama.
He's fresh, man.
Only started half, you know, his time and all that at Tennessee. So because of that, you just weren't sold. Hey, we like, but we'll go with the guy that's more of a proven commodity. Well, no doubt, barring injury, Kamara is a special player because, yes, he's wiry and he does all the things that Sproles did, but with a bigger body, but he's also a lot more physical. I mean, we saw him, that was an unbelievable play on 4th and 1 when the ball was thrown in the flat and he got popped at the goal line, and most people would have gotten in, and he was able to maintain his balance and still fall, you know, in the end zone for a touchdown. And then how about the run at the end to put it away? He breaks a tackle. You know, about the 10-15 yard line, he literally breaks a tackle. The guy's got his arms around his waist.
I saw one play last night where he was tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Everything else was a positive play. Literally one run, one touch.
Now he needs to stop some of that jumping. He almost broke his neck. You know, that jumping over the top of the guy.
He's a cat.
He literally landed on his head.
It's the first time I ever saw a cat land on his face. Because that never happens. And I mean that probably won't happen again. But he's special. The Saints have him, and he's young. He's fresh. But back to Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey, in a better system, if he was playing with Sean Payton, I'm not saying he would be doing what Alvin Kamara is doing, but he'd be doing a lot more than what he's doing for the Carolina Panthers. But he's doing a lot for the Carolina Panthers. He's all the Carolina Panthers have. They just don't know how to use him.
Right.
I mean, they use him on flare patterns and stuff like that, some reverses, and They're just not very creative offensively with him. But he's a stud. I mean, he's got some good numbers too. He's just not Alvin Kamara. And but the hype went to him originally. It's being overshadowed by Kamara, and I'm just glad that the Saints have him. As far as the playoffs are concerned, what a race this NFC South is. It's not over. The Saints have a 1-game lead on Carolina and they swept them, so it's like a 2-game lead. They've got a 2-game lead on the Falcons. They have 2 games coming up within 3 weeks with the Atlanta Falcons. And a lot can change, Ronnie, over the next 2 weeks. They have a Thursday night game this week on the road with an angry Atlanta Falcon team. Now, the Saints are a better team than Atlanta, but Atlanta's at home on a Thursday night, short rest. They even have an extra 3 hours of rest over the Saints because the Saints had the late game. So it's another one of those games. It could go either way. The Saints are a better team. That doesn't mean they're going to win the game. And they need to win this game.
Yeah, if they win this game, they give themselves a little breathing room, a little
huge
buffer,
breathing room.
and you know, who knows what's going to happen. You have hope that the Saints can get into the top 2
It's still there.
seeds. I mean,
everybody's playing each other, though,
I
Ronnie.
think it's more realistic as the Saints, you know, getting up to that 3rd seed.
Well, that's worthless. I mean, we might as well just be
Well,
the
it's not
4th seed.
worthless because it might be the difference between playing a Seattle or something like that. You know,
Who would you? I mean,
I'll take Carolina.
I'd take either Seattle or Carolina because all Seattle has.
I don't want Jimmy Graham in that secondary.
I'm not worried. All the Seattle Seahawks.
You're not worried.
The
You're
Saints.
not worried about
Let me tell
Jimmy
you something.
Graham.
The Saints have already played Russell Wilson twice this year in Cam Newton. Same guy.
No way. Russell
Same
Wilson
guy.
is a lot better than Cam Newton. Russell Wilson is a much better quarterback than Cam Newton.
Okay.
If you would pick Cam Newton over Russell Wilson, if you
I
had a
like
franchise?
Russell Wilson as the person, but
No,
I think
forget all that. I'm talking about the whole package.
I would take Cam Newton right now.
By the way, Cam Newton. Let me tell you what a jerk he is. After the game last night, there was you got to.
I saw it. Eric Ritchie.
It's great. It's great.
An hour.
And that's
4
every,
minutes.
and that's every week. It's
An hour
every
and
week.
4 minutes.
So the game ends, and they meet with the media. Guys jump in a shower, they throw on a suit, and they go meet with the media. Cam Newton showed up for his press conference an hour and 4 minutes after he left the field. Hour and 4 minutes. Now, if that were to put that in perspective, when LSU plays at Alabama, okay, and the game ends and the Tigers meet real quick, they jump in the shower, Orgeron has his press conference, they send out about 5-6 players to meet with the media, they all get on the bus, they get their Chick-fil-A box or whatever when they're getting on the bus, and then they head to the airport. An hour and 4 minutes after the game, the team's already at the airport. I mean, they're literally, I guarantee you, that bus from the time that the game ends to the time with a police escort, they're more than likely at the airport an hour and 4 minutes after the game. Cam Newton didn't even meet with the media until an hour, 4 minutes after he ran off the end zone. And he does that on purpose, and he does it every week, especially, and they say it's even longer after a loss. You know, he takes even more time after a loss. That is just an absolute jerk.
So I'm assuming every one of his teammates are sitting on the bus, just sitting there like this.
Yeah, they're all sitting around just
Like-
waiting. Yeah, that's unbelievable.
It's kind of cancer-y.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'd take Cam Newton as a player over Russell Wilson. He's just bigger, stronger, and he can do a lot of the same things that Russell can do. And I think that he's a good passer. I think that Cam's hurt right now. Cam is not the same guy he was when they went to the Super Bowl. He's physically
I think
injured.
Russell
right now.
Wilson's a much better passer than Cam Newton.
I don't think I don't necessarily think that Russell Wilson is that great. He is phenomenal this year because that offensive line is atrocious, and he literally makes figure eights on every single play behind the line of scrimmage to get the pass. He's playing flag football.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson is not playing within his offense.
Okay,
He is playing flag football right now.
So you feel confident the Saints at home, first round of the playoffs, as a 3 or 4 seed, play in either one of those two teams?
Yes, because the Saints have enough. They've played Cam twice. They understand that concept, that type of offense that they have to deal with. And I think Carolina is a good football team.
But you're worried about Olsen coming back and being healthy, but you're not worried about Jimmy Graham.
I would rather play Seattle's defense right now that's injured and banged up and they don't have a lot of their parts. They don't have Sherman. They don't have a lot of their parts defensively, whereas the Carolina Panthers are pretty loaded defensively. but they just showed you how good the Saints are running the football. And I think if they can run the football against Carolina, they can run the football against anybody in the NFL except the Minnesota Vikings.
Before we go to break, I want you to talk about Taysom Hill for a minute. You know, for those that didn't watch, you've watched the broadcast, you're sick of Taysom Hill. For those that haven't,
Why?
He's a 27-year-old former BYU quarterback. Of course, he's older because he did the Mormon mission. And he got last cut in camp by the Green Bay Packers. Saints picked him up, put him on the active roster so they couldn't lose him. They've had him on there all year as a third-string quarterback, and now they put him on special teams just to get some use out of him. But Sean Payton supposedly loves this kid so much, he's telling Troy Aikman and the announcers who did the game yesterday, Joe Buck, that the future quarterback for the New Orleans Saints is in the building.
And look, I don't know if he truly believes that. I think he's just saying that. He's really excited about this kid. He loves the potential, but, you know, Garrett Grayson was the future of this football team as well, so anything can change. I like that he kind of played that down today in his press conference, saying that, well, whoever the next quarterback of this football team is going to earn it on the field. He's going to earn it on the field. He's not going to just be handed that right. And basically, Troy and those guys didn't say it that way. He's the next guy. Well, he's still got to earn it. You're going to have to earn that right. But Taysom Hill, I mean, I remember when they signed him from Green Bay, I immediately went and let me see who this guy is. So I watched a bunch of his highlights from Green Bay. He's a good-looking kid. I mean, he is. He's 6'2". He's very athletic. If you go back and you do some of his BYU highlights, there's over 60 touchdowns to look at. He's got about 40 passing and about 20 running, maybe 30 running. It's a lot of touchdowns in his history.
He had threw for almost 6,000 yards or whatever in college.
a lot to
but
watch.
He also had 4 season-ending injuries in his 4 years at BYU. So this guy, can't stay healthy.
Because he's a dual-threat quarterback. Anytime you get that guy, you're going to have those issues. If you're not 6'5", 240 pounds like Cam Newton. I mean, I don't know how Cam Newton gets it up every week. I don't know how Russell Wilson gets up every week, but because those guys,
you don't know how Cam Newton gets it up every week.
Gets up.
That's what you said. I mean, I didn't know where you're going with that.
Well, maybe she's good looking.
He's Joel Davis. I'm Ronnie Rance. We're here in the LeBaire Studios. When we come back, we'll tell you about a little.
When does this show end?
In about 5.5 minutes. When we come back, we'll tell you about a story out of Los Angeles that will have him fired up. We'll be back right after this.
Relief window. Experience Relief window.
When my wife and I started Relief Windows, what we were trying to do, what our goal was to give a quality job to a homeowner. Everybody's scared of contractors. We wanted to change the mold of what that is. Not showing up on time, not answering the phone, somebody running with your money. The reason why you should pick Relief Windows to do your renovation of your home, windows, doors, Hardy Planker siding, is because of the experience, quality service of our company. Service is everything we have. It's the foundation of our company. We're going to show up on time. We're going to do the job right. Over 60% of our customers is customer referral. We're a local company here in Baton Rouge, built in Baton Rouge, staying in Baton Rouge. Okay. The job's not done until you're happy and we're happy. It's built the old-fashioned way, with a handshake. Here at Relief Windows, it's an honor to be official window, door, and siding company of LSU Athletics, from one winning team to another.
Relief windows.
Appliance Distributors of Louisiana are appliance experts who have been in business for over 35 years. ADL provides worry-free, full-service solutions for the whole home. ADL works with designers, builders, or individual homeowners like me when I was remodeling my home after the Great Flood in August 2016. ADL offers special homeowner discounts, just like the ones the builders get. Go to ADLappliances.com and see all the major name brands, or stop by their store on Nicholson Drive in Baton Rouge. ADL services the entire state of Louisiana, so call, log on, or stop by today. Appliance Distributors of Louisiana. If you're an avid sports fan, then you need to check out the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, located in historic downtown Natchitoches, next to the Chateau St. Denis Hotel and the Natchitoches Convention Center. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is where the rich history of Louisiana sports is told through the pictures, artifacts, and by the legends themselves in video archives. Come to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame and Northwest Louisiana History Museum and visit a world-renowned architectural marvel. For more information and to purchase tickets to the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame events, visit lasportshall.com/purchase.
Welcome back, everybody. Ronnie Rance, Joel Davis here at the LeBear Studios in Baton Rouge. Couple quick things as we only have a couple minutes left. Eli Manning, 210 games in a row. Streak comes to an end. Giants go with Geno Smith at quarterback. Coaching staff paid for that as Ben McAdoo and the general manager, Jerry Reese, fired today as we tape here on Monday, fired. And, of course, Eli expected to start with under the new coaching staff. Steve Spagnuolo, defensive coordinator, takes over.
Geno Smith, same guy he was when he was with the New York Jets. He has no pocket presence, has no idea what's around him, and that's part of being a quarterback. Actually had a pretty good game passing the football, but 2 fumbles because he doesn't know when to get rid of the football. Not the future.
Over in Los Angeles, UCLA, the Bruins, they got to be pretty happy.
Yeah, I mean, anytime LeVar Ball pulls his kids off of campus.
He pulled his son LiAngelo off the team. Remember, he's one of the 3 players that was arrested in China for shoplifting. LeVar Ball mad at UCLA because they've indefinitely suspended those 3, which means he's not practicing, playing, or anything. So who's happier, the Balls that they're gone or UCLA that the Balls are gone?
UCLA is so happy. Now the Lakers are just waiting for the Balls to leave. But he said that the UCLA Bruins were tougher on his kids than the Chinese were.
Yeah, they were in jail in the United States, is what it is.
He's truly an idiot, Ronnie. He is ruining these poor kids, and he's going to ruin their careers.
Well, look, LiAngelo Ball's a guy who they're not sure if he's going to be drafted or not. He's not going to transfer to another college. He's pulled his freshman son, who hadn't even played a game for UCLA yet, out of school. He's going to train him and get him ready for the NBA draft. That's what he's going with. And, of course, there's another son that's in high school that he's not even going to college.
He's screwed, too.
I mean, it's unbelievable what a horrible parent this guy is, and nobody's buying their sneakers anyway. He's Joel Davis. Don't forget to check out Joel and I each and every Monday from 6 to 8 on ESPN Radio in Baton Rouge. Check us out. You got one of these smartphones, download the ESPN Baton Rouge app and check us out. For Joel Davis, I'm Ronnie Rance. Have a great week, everybody.
If you're an avid sports fan, then you need to check out the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, located in historic downtown Natchitoches, next to the Chateau St. Denis Hotel and the Natchitoches Convention Center. The Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame is where the rich history of Louisiana sports is told through the pictures, artifacts, and by the legends themselves in video archives. Come to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame and Northwest Louisiana History Museum and visit a world-renowned architectural marvel. For more information and to purchase tickets to the annual Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame events, visit lasportshall.com/purchase.